give some people some time to
jump on.
All two people.
Janice will watch.
I hope.
And Mike the cop. Mike, how do you say his name? Buckner?
Oh, Beekner.
Beekner.
Yeah, Beekner.
That's a good kid right there.
Yep, he is. Beach will not, because he's on vacation. So.
I did see that.
Ah, Rich Clempy's on. Rich Clempy. I'm shocked to see you on here. Nice to see you, Rich. Hey, we got to talk about seeing what we need to do about the TV spots, Rich. So we'll talk. Let's talk first of the week next week.
Get together and have a meeting.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Don't
Okay.
Wait a minute, Jim. I'm bending over. I'm waiting for that finger. We won't put that part on the radio, though.
Just on Facebook.
Yes.
On Facebook
Just
for
our
Rich.
Facebook friends,
Rich.
all two people. Okay. I'm waiting. I'm holding my
You
clenching.
ready?
I'm clenching.
He's good.
He's ready? Okay.
Yeah. I'm ready. I'm waiting for the finger.
Okay. See, I wasn't sure. You said, wait a minute, don't do it yet.
Never listen to Jeff.
Yeah, don't listen to me. Oh, you're going to be in Columbus, Rich. Nice. Oh, bingo. That was a finger that we'll never forget. Given by the one and only Jim. Hey, I'm Jeff, one of the owners of Meyers Jewelers, along with my brother Scott. And I'm sitting here with Michael Morris, the gentleman who is the star of the 101 as well.
Hey, I do all kinds of shows, and I do it for the people, Jeff.
Yes,
Just
you
like
do.
you do this show for the people, we're doing this one for the people.
Well, I am very happy to be here once again. And what's been going on in your week, Morris?
Well, we just finished the alumni tournament in Grove City.
Oh,
which-
how'd that go?
Listen, the class of 94 represented, got our 2 games, got knocked out, and got to sit in the tents the rest of the time. But you know what was discussed? This show. People love this show.
I don't believe it.
They think that you are doing this to be funny, and I keep telling them it's like trying to ride a squirrel around a park. I don't know where you're ever going to go,
Yeah.
especially when we start, so I just
keep
hold on
it
for dear life.
interesting and exciting.
Absolutely.
Or I try to, at least. As exciting as you can make talking about jewelry. How's that?
Well, let's talk about that, because one of the things that we've talked about in
Oh,
the
and
past,
by the way, I just want to put it on record that the first time ever, finally, you came through for Britt Floyd.
You should tell that story of a 5-year odyssey to finally get you where you're supposed to be.
This was unbelievable. I am a big fan of the band Britt Floyd. And if for people that do not know who Britt Floyd is, they are a cover band, and they do all Pink Floyd music. But they're not just a cover band. They're probably, in my opinion, and from people I've talked to, the greatest cover band in the world for any band. Like, they were, if it wasn't sold out, it was awfully close at the Express Live last Tuesday, downtown Columbus there. I don't know, it's got to be, what's that hold there? 5,000 maybe?
Yeah, about 4,500,
Outside?
5,000.
Yeah, I mean, so you're talking 5,000 people for a cover band, which is, you got to be pretty good to attract 5,000 people to come out.
And year after year.
And they have been around, I believe it's 12 years now, maybe
Yeah.
a little longer. I've seen them maybe the last 8 years or so. I absolutely love them. I love Pink Floyd music, and they do it to perfection. I would be willing to say that these guys perform it better than the actual band Pink Floyd did back in the day when they were touring.
And when they got along and they would speak to each other.
Reason why I say better is they're really, really good at it, and they do it literally every day for like 300 days out of the year. And they've been doing it for like 12 years. So, you know, the actual Pink Floyd band never performed near that much.
Right.
So, I mean, they're really, really, really good. So, every year I call up Morris and go, Mike, can you get me a box or a table, however you want to call it, at the Express Live outside for the Britt Floyd concert? I'd like to be able to sit there, relax, not have to stand, and be mushed in there with the crowd. This would be nice little plus. Sure. I can get tickets. I got them. I got you hooked up. Literally every year, I get there and I go up and he'll say, yeah, my tickets are, your tickets will be under your name. I get there, they don't know who the heck I say, Jeff Wiseman for my 4-seat. We got nothing here for Jeff Wiseman.
Every year.
Every year.
Now, to defend myself, we always get it in writing, and we ask for these tickets at the beginning of the year, January, no matter if the show is in August, July, whatever. So every year, I keep my phone on during this show because I know there's going to be a problem. Jeff is not going to get access. He's going to be in the wrong part of the park. And so the last, I would say, 4 years in a row, my phone at 7:30 goes off with words I can't even say on the radio of Jeff not really being mad at me, but even though he has emails that say he's supposed to be in there, and it never, ever works.
But it worked this year.
Right. So I left my phone on until 10:30, waiting on him to say I've been arrested because I didn't get in again. But
nope,
yes.
So it worked out great. So I need to thank you very much for that.
Well, you're welcome. It only takes every
Rachel,
5
I know
years.
you were behind it.
Oh, absolutely.
That's how we got him this time, right?
Always.
Yeah.
I knew that.
She took care of you. But yeah, it is the bane of my existence to know in January, ask for Britt Floyd, and we do it every single week for literally 20 straight weeks, and then Jeff calls me screaming about this. So I'm happy that it worked out for you.
Yes, it did, and it was awesome. So thank you very much. They're probably one of my top 3 bands to see. Bruce Springsteen, Britt Floyd, and Shane Wiseman.
I was going to say, cheap plug for Shane.
Yeah, got to throw a little plug for my boy Shane.
Well, let's throw a plug for your brother Scott, so you and I don't
Scott,
get
I
yelled
know
at.
him.
Scott,
What are we going to say?
Well, Scott really likes it when we talk about jewelry. And
Oh,
I know
okay.
it's hard to focus on during a show about jewelry, but we do need to talk about that today.
All right,
Now,
if we have to.
here's what I've noticed about you lately.
Yeah, what have you noticed?
You have become more of a trendsetter with the jewelry that you have, the John Hardy pieces.
Yeah.
We talked, I want to say when we first started doing the show a year or two ago, I would say the trend was, and again, you always say the trends are set up on the coast, the East Coast, West Coast, and creep in here, 14 to 16 months later, and all of a sudden, boom, it's a big trend in the Midwest. But you have that John Hardy bracelet on right now.
Yes, I do.
I'm seeing more and more bracelets, more and more watches, more and more chains that
Yes.
I've seen in the last probably 10 years or so.
The trends for the men in jewelry is starting to go up again. I was fortunate to be around and working and raised and all that in the 70s and 80s. And boy, did men like jewelry back then. It was a whole different world. As much as it is now, where most guys literally wear nothing, back then, they wore everything. Not one chain, not 2 chains. They might wear 3 or 4 chains, different things hanging from each chain. Bracelets, rings, 3, 4 rings, watches. Watches was like the minor thing back then. It wasn't as big a deal like today, with the Breitlings and the real big, bold watches, the bold statements.
Well, the big face watch was
Right,
a
the
big
watches
deal.
back then were real small. Most of the watches back in the 70s and 80s were the size of what the women wear today for the guys. With, I think, a lot with the trends of jewelry that went way down for men on not really wearing any, they decided, let's make the watches a little bigger because they're not wearing anything, and it kind of worked, and, watches are big. But, men are coming in and actually asking for a gold chain or a bracelet. And being that we carry the new John Hardy line, the line's not new, it's new to us, that they're big on men's jewelry. And so we decided that we were going to accept John Hardy's offer to come into our store because we really felt that the men's jewelry trend is on its way up. And they still also carry a beautiful women's line, and we felt that would do well in our store. So that is a very trend-setting line, and it is now available at Meyers Jewelers. What do you think of that?
I think it's awesome. I was thinking about...
That made your day to hear that, didn't it?
Well, absolutely. But I also, when we were talking about the John Hardy line, and I was saying for months that the trend was that men were getting more into jewelry. You know where it started to die off was that period in the 90s where it was the grunge thing was a big deal.
Oh, yeah. People grunged it out.
But you had to look like you were poor and your clothes didn't fit.
Yep, like you just woke up on the street corner.
Yeah, everybody had big oversized jeans. Vans became a big deal in terms of shoes. But if you wore jewelry, you were a sellout. Like if you were a guy. Because it was a big deal. And then they got away from jewelry. And watches were more the leather band, small face type deal that you could kind of conceal, but you need to know what time it was. What's weird is we all have the time on our phone now.
Correct.
But the piece that you're wearing on your wrist almost shows that some kind of distinction that you've made it, right? It's more of an accessory than it is a necessity.
Correct.
But are you in that 90s period, say 95 to 2000, is that when you started to see jewelry kind of, for men, kind of go down a bit? Because it was almost socially unacceptable.
Yes, and also, let me just think here. I'll tell you when it really, really bottomed out for the men's jewelry was right after the huge market collapse in, when was that? 08?
07,
2008.
Yeah.
So 2008, when the market crashed, the real estate market, everything just crashed. And right then and there, gold started climbing. So if you have, I'd have guys come in, I want a 100-gram rope necklace. You have a 100-gram rope necklace when gold was at $400 an ounce, versus a 100-gram rope necklace at, I'm not sure where gold's at this week. I haven't checked. Last week it was in the 1400s per ounce. You're talking probably triple the price. So real quickly, and gold got up way higher in 1400 an ounce after, the market crashed and all that. So you're talking change, guys might have bought for $1,000, we're now, $3,000. Or if they were $3,000, now they're almost $10,000. It's a big difference.
Right.
So, guys had to get thinner pieces to fit
or they
it
had
within.
To change to silver, right?
Right, or they went to silver. But it just seemed like then it really took a nosedive. And really hasn't recovered up until recently. I've noticed, it's trending up at least. So that's where it's at. But watches were extremely popular then. And I don't remember I don't know if I mentioned this last week. We just were working with our Breitling people, and they told us for 2019 so far, we were the #1 Breitling dealer in Ohio.
That's huge.
Which I thought that was pretty good. There's a lot of there's several Breitling stores around Ohio, and a lot of people to sell them to, because Ohio's a very populated state. And so far, 2019 with first half, we're #1. So I thought that was pretty good.
Does that have to do with the newer? I know Breitling traditionally was that bigger face watch, but then they started the Avenger series, and they had the kind of lower entry ones that were kind of a little bit smaller. It didn't take away from the quality, but the face of them.
No, because we're still selling a lot more. The average, I'd say, priced one that we sell maybe somewhere in the 6,000 range, but they start at 2,000.
Right.
And surprisingly, I thought when we get the $2,000 Breitlings in that we're going to sell those to where you can't keep them in stock. People still want to move up.
Right.
They don't want the entry level. Kind of like in a car sometimes.
Right.
I want to get a Mercedes, but the only one I can really afford at this point is the bare basic entry level. So you kind of skip that.
The one with the crank-up window.
The crank-up window, yes. So Yeah, I noticed that the people still like to move up a little bit when it comes to the watches.
Do they trade them in? I know that a big deal in the 70s and 80s, the higher end watches, people would trade them in on a bigger brand watch or a bigger, more expensive watch. But I think that's a lesson that you should hold on to these things because they don't really decrease in value.
Now, a lot of people, I get some that sell them, but most people like to collect them and, wear different ones. So they tend to want to keep them, and I notice that guys that get the first one, they might be back 6 months later for another one,
Right.
just because they really enjoy wearing the watch. And I was the same way until I wear my father's Breitling now, so I like to keep this one on all the time. Makes me feel a little closer to him, being that this was his watch. And it is a nice thing with a Breitling. It's something you can pass down in generation because this was his watch. Now I have it. The watch is as good today as it was when he first got it, maybe 10 years ago. And I'll do the same. Pass it down one day to my children.
Or me. I appreciate that. The other part of the Breitling, though, is you've said this before. They don't make as many Breitlings as other watch manufacturers, so
Correct.
the quality is higher because they're not mass producing.
Correct. For example, I can name names, Rolex, one of the top name brands of any product literally in the world. I believe it's in the top 5 of recognized name brands.
Yeah.
It's up there with Nike and all those. But they sell, I think last year I read they produced 1.1 million watches. I believe Breitling was in the 250,000 range. It's a big difference. No way to be able to keep control of quality when you're doing over 1 million versus 250,000. And that's why some of the really high-end watches that maybe start at 50,000 and up, they might only make, a couple thousand watches a year. So that's what goes into the quality. So we feel for the price point, hands down, Breitling, you get the best amount for your money. Mike, I don't want to stop you, but we need to take a break.
Well, I am
You're
on
sleeping
fire.
over there.
I am on fire, but we are going to go to break.
And you just want to keep
so.
on going with this. So let's take a break, listen to some of the great commercials out there, and we'll be right back.
So now we're getting into women's trends.
Oh, yeah.
You go about 11 minutes.
Mm.
You're good.
We're on fire.
Oh, heck, 11 minutes? I could talk about it. I could talk about the entire 10 Commandments for that.
There you go.
You could skim them. Is there anything specific women's wise we want to steer? Okay. Well, I was thinking to Corey, I want to talk about colored stones, colored pieces.
Just ask me about the trends, and then I'll get started on the women's trends. The bangle bracelets with the diamonds in the top are hot.
Okay, we'll get into it.
I know you're really excited to hear
I'm
about
wearing
it.
3 of them on my leg.
Oh, nice.
And 2 on the other leg.
Oh.
Ready?
Yep.
Oh, Jim, thank you for giving me that wake-up nudge that it's time to get back to the show. Hey, there is a new viewer here, or at least the first time I've ever seen his name pop up here. Joel Greff is there. Let's give Joel a big round of applause.
Thank you for tuning in.
Joel, it is a pleasure to have you on our show. And by the way, he is running for Bexley City Council. So go out and vote for Joel.
Now we have to have
This
his
is political.
Now we have to have his counterpart watch the show so we can plug that guy too.
No, we're not plugging him. Joel
All right,
Greff.
We're all for Joel.
Joel Greff for Bexley City Council.
Now, if I can get you to talk jewelry just a little bit longer.
All right, we'll
today.
talk a little jewelry
We
now.
talked about men's trends in jewelry.
Hey, we talked Brit Floyd first.
We talked Brit Floyd.
How you screwed it up
Yep,
every
how
time.
I messed you over for 4 years.
Then
but I
we
got it
talked
right.
about men's trends, and then we talked about Breitling watch. I've gotten in a lot of things to talk about
right.
so far.
So the challenge is,
I was
can we
plugging
get-
Joel.
Yeah, we've done a lot today, but we have to finish
All right.
strong, and we have to finish on women's trends.
Oh,
What are
I love
you-
to talk about women's trends.
Yes, thank you for finishing that. But when we are talking about that, what's the hot thing? Is it color? Is it certain stones? Where is that going?
Right now, let me just give you a quick if there's a guy listening right now, and you're looking to get your lady whether it's your wife, whether it's somebody you're just dating, your fiance,
Somebody
whether
else's wife.
it's somebody else's wife, whoever she is. The hottest thing right now is all you folks out there remember the tennis bracelet. Do you know what tennis bracelet is?
I bought many of them.
Okay, so those are where the diamonds go all the way around the bracelet. They're flexible because they're all hinged, each link, and it has a beautiful look. They're in white gold, yellow gold. I guess you can get them in silver as well. And they have been popular probably for about the last 30 years. Still sell a lot of them, but there's a new trend on those, and the ladies are coming in and wanting them. It is a bangle bracelet. For those of you that do not know what a bangle bracelet is, that is a solid bracelet where it's hinged. You open it, kind of just opens in the middle, put it on your wrist and close it. And it doesn't spin around like a regular bracelet. And as I said, it's solid. So it's not hinged to where each link moves or anything. And across the top half of the bangle bracelet are diamonds. So you could do just a single row. There's some with 2 rows, 3 rows, crisscrossed, different designs. You can do them with colored stones. You can do them alternating color and diamond. There is endless array of styles and designs that come in these. And the other cool thing is the ladies are stacking them. So they will wear not 1, not 2, maybe 3 or 4 of them. And you might get one in yellow gold, one in rose gold, one in white gold. And each one might have a different colored gemstone. The diamond in the middle, you'll do ruby and diamond on one side, emerald and diamond on the other, mixing the gold colors. Think of the array of beautiful things that you could put on your wrist. Not yours, but
My wrist would look fantastic either way. With
Yes.
or without them, I understand.
so that has been a huge trend. It's kind of like another big trend are these stackable rings. And that is like a one band, and you might have diamonds or colored stones or no stones in different colors, and you just stack 3 or 4 on your finger, on one finger. So the same idea on a bracelet. And I have a lot of ladies that just will wear one. They don't have to wear, because, sometimes you can get them kind of expensive. You get a bunch of diamonds in there. So, you just wear the one. And you can wear it with your tennis bracelet. So, that is a really, really good trend that I think you guys and the ladies, if you're looking to get a gift for yourself, that's a great one. Or to give a hint to your man to get it for you. And you can pop into Meyers Jewelers, and we'll be glad to show you what those all look like, because we have lots and lots and lots of them.
You know what's cool about the trends now, especially for women's jewelry, is color is a big deal. If you look at any of the trends from like late 60s to the 70s, even into the 80s, there were a lot of colors that popped when you were looking at these old magazines, or when we're looking at that Tarantino film. If you see the jewelry that they're wearing there in the 60s,
I haven't seen it yet. I got to see that.
Well, get yourself.
Have you seen it?
I have not, but I watch a lot of trailers. But when I'm looking at things from that era, there were a lot of colors that were being used, and I feel like once we got to the mid 90s, the early 2000s, it was be as simple as you can. Not that it wasn't elegant looking, but the silver was a big deal. It was more plain and traditional, and I feel like we're kind of getting over that hump where, to be different, that new trend is adding a lot more turquoise, the maroon stones, things like that. And
Le'Veon's big with that. Yeah. They do a lot of jewelry items with beautiful, unusual stones. Like, I've talked about this on this show, Paraiba tourmaline.
Which is my favorite thing you say on this show.
Yes, I love the Paraiba tourmaline. What do you think of that? That's good. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stone. It has flakes of copper within the stone that you see with this turquoise colored stone that gives off a glimmer that's in the stone, but you can't really see the actual flake other than a little bit of the shimmering of the color. Very expensive stone, but a magnificently beautiful stone and very different. And Le'Veon's real big with those. But yes, you are correct. A lot of a little more unusual type of stones now that are out there.
Well, Levion was the one that took the chance to really market themselves as
The chocolate diamonds, yeah, Levion's the ones.
But they didn't stop. That's what was cool, is they took those other colors and put them in. They have other stones, but also different settings, or even just necklaces in that line.
Did I ever tell you? I probably have. What the Levion family, before they came over to America, what they did.
I can't remember. Tell the story. But
They are multi-generational family of jewelers. We're talking hundreds of years. They started off in Persia, which is, I believe, Iran, isn't it?
It is.
So they were the keeper of the jewels for the royal family.
Yes.
Yes. So the royal family, we're talking, hundreds of years ago, up until, I'm not sure exactly when they came over, but I believe it was kind of when things were turning bad over there and changing from Persia to Iran, and they got out of there. But up until then, the King of Persia, Queen, and their whole royal family, they took care of their jewelry. That was their job. They made the jewelry, took care of it, and they translated that when they came over here to America into forming their own company, and it is one of the top name brands in the world for jewelry, which is very interesting.
Yeah, the tagline is the Levion family of jewelers, because it was all of them as a group.
And they're still a family. It's still family business.
Right,
We're not talking some big corporate, owned by, like Seiko, and this is just a little company. It's the owner's name is Eddie Levion.
Right.
So there you go. I mean, that's
Have you
their
ever met
name.
that guy?
Yes. He's like at all the jewelry shows and stuff. He's very active. The gentleman that I work with, he married a Levion, Eddie's sister.
Oh, he's got to be pulling down at least $40K a year then.
So, right, but he, it's still a very much family business, as big of a company as it is, and really enjoy working with them. So they're real big on trend setting. I'm giving them a lot of the credit for the popularity of rose gold, because a lot of their items are in rose gold. And the reason why they do a lot of rose gold is the chocolate diamonds, when they're set in rose gold, it looks better than if they're set in white gold or yellow gold.
It makes it pop even more.
Just something about the combo of their rose gold, which they call strawberry gold, and the color of their chocolate diamonds, which is the prettiest of any other chocolate diamond, because they mine the finest chocolate diamonds in the world. When you combine that, it just has a unique look that's gorgeous. And people that never wear anything but white gold, let's say, will buy a Levion ring in rose gold.
Right.
And then they'll, go, oh, I have this rose gold. I want to get something else in rose gold so I can wear with it. And I think some of that rose gold popularity started with them, because they were definitely doing it before it was popular.
Well, they were the first ones to really push those colored stones of any make and model, which was cool, because at the time, that was not a hot item. It was almost like this is a one-of-a-kind thing if you saw somebody wearing it. I think they have a lot to do with the trend of bringing color back into.
And anybody that loves the Levion or anything like that, I think in September. I got to double check. We'll know the next show. I believe middle of September. And anybody interested, just call our store and we'll tell you for sure. We're having a Levion show. So where they all come in, and the gentleman that I talked about, whose wife is a Levion, will be in the store. They take over the entire store for an entire day.
It's a really cool show.
And we remove half the jewelry in our store and put in nothing but theirs. And we have a 10,000 square foot store. So you can only imagine how much jewelry will be there. And it's magnificent. So on that note, I think it's time to call it a day. I want everybody to have a great week. And I liked ending last time with words of wisdom.
Oh, it was great. Do it.
But the problem is I don't have any today. I didn't think of anything. So everybody just go out and have a great week, and we look forward to talking to everybody next week. Experience Meyers Jewelers.